Hello again, everybody. So it turns out I'm finding that I'm really taking to this, taking videos of myself alone during the day. And so what I've decided to do for you now is I'm going to do about 2 hours worth of improv slam poetry. It is required material for the course, so you have to watch all of it. I actually just wanted to send you a quick follow up message, kind of pertaining to some of the stuff we talked about, or I talked about yesterday, and just kind of add on a little bit to some of the other parts that are coming with the literature review thing. So, looks like some of the lit reviews are starting to come in, which is awesome, and I'm gonna start taking a peek at those kind of as soon as I can. Hopefully, what you've seen, if you've gone to the page, it's sort of broken down into sections. There's the initial part that is your literature review. Here's how you write it out, you create the document, you need to upload it, make it available to other people, send link to me, all the really awesome nitty gritty crap. Um, Hopefully that all makes sense. It looks like people are getting it down, but if you do have questions, let me know. So the initial piece, the first part being the literature review, is listed in there as due Friday. And it is, in the sense that, to be on track and as we're moving along, we really want to have those in by Friday. I know that because of circumstances, health issues, travel, different things that are going on, it's pretty certain that not all of them are going to be in by Friday, which is all right. Again, I'm working with each of you individually, who that's relevant for. So we'll continue to be in touch, figure that out. But part of why I bring that up is that the other key component, which is the peer feedback, the peer reviewing, where you are going to be giving each other feedback on this sort of first draft of the literature review. The way that it's initially, like the way that it's laid out, the way that it's described on the page, is that you were to be sort of grouped within the discussion forum. And I initially did have that set up where you were grouped and you were going to just review for, X, Y, and Z other people. But number one, that's apparently going to be problematic because the grouping is no longer in the settings for the assignment. And second, that it won't let me actually go in and do that now. That being said, I'm actually pretty comfortable with that because there's going to be sort of an inconsistency in terms of who gets what in when, these sorts of things. It could prove more problematic to try and stick you into a small group of individuals who knows where each of those people are going to be, blah, blah, blah. The point being, so where you're going to find those in that assignment, down underneath within the thread, you should find the links that go to each person as they go and submit the links that go into their literature reviews, rather than sort of forcibly grouping you into a small number of folks. I think that we just probably need to collectively come and try to address the lit reviews as they're sort of coming along. That's not to say that you need to read every single person's, give feedback on every single person's, not by any stretch of the imagination. I think it makes a lot of sense for us to at least, I say us, you, to at least try to take a look at three, four of the people's submissions and try to give at least some level of feedback. You don't have to go through psychotically like I tend to do with papers, and pick them apart and every which way. It's really meant to be pretty informal. Like I said yesterday, first drafts are what they are. So the kind of feedback at this stage is going to be hopefully pretty straightforward and the like. It also, in my way of thinking, kind of sets up what am I trying to say, an incentive to whatever degree, because those who are going to be getting them in, like if you've already got yours turned in, that's fantastic. And people are going to be able to start giving you feedback right away, and you're probably going to get quite a bit of feedback for having gotten it in earlier. And so as time's going on, as the later papers are rolling in, I certainly want them to be getting reviewed, but they're probably not going to be getting quite as much once we get to Friday and beyond that point. That said, I want us all to get at least some level of feedback, and I, of course, will be giving it on everybody's. So that brings me to the next thing that I wanted to bring up, which is if you see sort of the second part where it then talks about doing the feedback. Um, Ostensibly, that feedback is supposed to be due or officially in by Tuesday of next week. Now that's great, and if we can, the more of that we can get, definitely the better. But being realistic, knowing that not all of these are going to be completed and in by Friday, for instance, I know a number of you have things going on over the weekend. You're going to be traveling, you're going to be out of town, you're going to be working, there are things going on. And so, with these being due on Friday, and the idea of then trying to come back and spend enough time to give quality, substantive feedback, where you're spending the time, you're reading it, you're paying attention. That's condensing it down quite a lot. The more that we're able to get in by Tuesday, definitely the better. And I'm not necessarily going to change things where I want to like push a due date out, anything like that. More that I think collectively as a group, if we basically understand, Tuesday is a terrific benchmark. I would love to see as much feedback in by that point as is possible, but I feel like that's going to cost us more than it's going to get us by putting a delineation on there. So I think by saying keep it coming through the entirety of the week, if you can get some in by Tuesday, yeah. If that's pushing it too much, you need some more time into Wednesday, into Thursday, going towards the end of the week, do it. I would rather see you giving the feedback, people receiving more feedback than I would, trying to come down hard and be like, it's got to be Tuesday. It's got to be. The third part then being that sort of there's a discussion piece of discussing the feedback, changes, the things like that. That also is when we put a due date on it. That's for Friday. I see no reason why, as the feedback is continuing to flow in as we're working through that process, I don't see any reason to mess around with that Friday date for the discussion. But as is with the feedback, discussion forums, those kinds of things, there's no reason that they can't keep going beyond the dates as we have them set. The more time that we're spending, the more that we're sort of giving one another, better off we're going to be. So to try and actually bring that back, make sense of what I'm talking about here. So literature reviews, they are due this Friday, but there's not going to be explosions and fires and things like that if they're rolling in over the weekend. I also am going to be gone over the weekend. I'm going with the family and getting as far away from civilization as is humanly possible. So I won't be seeing them until Sunday night, something like that. Keep them coming. If you're concerned, it's about midnight on Friday and you need some time on Saturday, take the time. Do it. Feel good about what you're getting in and that it's complete enough for what you want to be getting feedback on. And then with the feedback component, technically due Tuesday, but I don't want us to push to have it all done on Tuesday and then stop providing it. So let's try to keep the feedback piece flowing throughout the week, as will be the discussion pertaining to all those things. All right. That's all that I wrote down, so that's obviously all that there could possibly be. Now for the poetry. Joking. So, as always, let me know if you have questions. Be in touch. You know how to reach me, and best of luck with everything. And we will be talking soon. All right. Take care out there.